This is our building. Around it, the yellow buildings are ones where sick people are recorded as living. The darker the color, the more recent the case.
Là, tu fermes, là, voilà. Donc, ça va.
Every red dot is a coronavirus case. No one slips through the net in a society where everyone is tracked by shopping, going about their daily business, or via facial recognition.
I click here on the ill person to see where they've been. To a fruit dealer and a bistro. They're 2 or 3 kilometers away. We are here, and we're definitely not going to walk 3 kilometers to buy an apple, so it's fine. These new technologies make everyday life a lot easier. But they also create fear.
The apps show most of the sick as being in the center of Beijing. The main shopping drag, Wang Fujing, is dead. Usually, Beijing's equivalent of the Champs-Élysées is thronging with people out shopping or window shopping. But today, there are public health videos rather than ads playing on the electronic billboards. The food market in the middle of the street, where you used to be able to buy insect larvae and scorpions, is closed. There's a sign saying it's going to be renovated, but it doesn't say when. These are agonizingly long days for store and restaurant owners. Miss Zhang is in charge of the only open cafe around here. Today, I'm her only customer.
When the epidemic first broke out, we had to find a way of coping. We assumed the whole thing would probably go on for the first half of the year. I have a lot of friends in the restaurant trade, and we're all in the same situation. We're under a lot of pressure if our estimates are correct. We don't know when business is going to pick up again, and we're keeping a very close eye on developments. When things improve, we'll hear about it on the news. We keep calculating when we might have more guests again, based on the latest infection figures.
The city is sleeping, but we're going stir-crazy at home. So we decide to go out. It'll do us good. Because we can't be visited by anyone from outside and everything is closed, we pay a visit to our neighbor, Gary. Up to now, we had only met on the parking lot.
Hey. Hello, sir. Hey, how are you doing? Hard time. Yeah, it's hard time. Have a seat.
The second-hand car dealer lives here with his wife and cat. For more than a month now, he has been sitting at home and twiddling his thumbs, like all of us. Since the start of the quarantine, he hasn't missed any of the news broadcasts on CCTV, Chinese state television.
In 2003, at the time of the SARS epidemic, I was in my third year at the university. I think people were less worried back then. People are far more worried than they were about SARS. People are saying that the mood is different because of WeChat. Fear is spreading because we're communicating with one another more due to social media. At the time of SARS, these platforms didn't exist. In 2003, the authorities in Beijing committed grave mistakes. They hushed things up, and that created big problems. But I believe they have made progress, and they've got the situation pretty much under control now. Maybe they tried to cover things up at first. I don't know.
Based on the information he hears from the government, Gary prefers to stay at home. Every evening, state TV shows images of the crisis, pictures of hospitals, patients, and above all, the military and medics working together in perfect coordination. And on the ground shots from cities where the state apparatus is naturally shown as intervening swiftly and efficiently, even cleaning the street with mops. The premier sets a good example. The message, everything is under control. As every day goes by, more people disappear from Beijing's streets. Normally, there's an almost constant flow of cars and consumers along this road. Today, nothing, just silence. This banner reads, "We are all united, and thanks to this trust and the scientific strategy of state leadership, this epidemic will be vanquished." The regime is obsessed by the concern that fear about the virus could spark social unrest or criticism of the leaders. The party seems more worried about that than about the coronavirus itself. People spreading information on social media can expect sanctions. Blogger Fang Bing was arrested at home by the police.
Who's there?
The police.
The police?
Yes, open up.
Why are there so many of you? Stop taking photos. Why are you here?
We're here because of you.
Where are you taking me? What do you want from me?
Come on, open the door.
First, I want to know where you're taking me.
Finally, the police broke the door down. Fang Bing hasn't been seen since. The blogger had been filming since the start of the crisis in Wuhan and posting his videos on social media. He ventured into hospitals, showed overflowing waiting rooms, dying patients, and doctors and nurses at breaking point. Unsanitized images. Hundreds of thousands of Chinese people had been following him online and watching how he openly denounced government inefficiency.
You'll get your punishment and pay for your deeds. All anti-communist forces must unite. Even if you arrest me, I am not afraid.
An unbearable affront to the regime. But this type of video managed to spread through social media before the government was able to intervene. So too did videos filmed by Chen Shuxi in Wuhan's hospitals. He showed sick people not being treated, desperate people who were not being attended to despite having had a fever for days.
Hello, this is Chen Shuxi. It's 11 a.m. on January the 30th.
This was his last video before he was quarantined.
I'm frightened. I have the virus before my eyes and state security breathing down my neck. But I'm not going to let that get me down. I'll carry on reporting in this city as long as I live, and I'll show what I see and hear. So go to hell. Does the communist regime think that I'm afraid?
Over the last few days, I've noticed a few posts on WeChat and Douban, the Chinese equivalent of Facebook and Twitter, that also challenged the official line. They were written by a blogger couple in Beijing. Accompanied by an interpreter, I visit them in their small city center apartment.
We haven't been outside for days, and we're just killing time.
Since the start of the crisis, there has been a rise in the number of citizen journalists in China trying to disseminate information to supplement the official version of events, a tentative breath of freedom. With limited means, the two bloggers wanted to spark a mini revolution after Dr. Li Wenliang died. The doctor from Wuhan was the first to try to warn the public about the new disease. He was arrested, but died after contracting the illness, and became a symbol for this absurd system that silences people to maintain the regime's stability.
When Dr. Li died, people were sad and angry. I wanted to honor him by getting as many people as possible to use a drawing of his face as their profile picture in social media, or to send posts with messages like, "It's no crime to express your opinion," or "Have a safe journey to paradise," a kind of online demonstration. 30 minutes after I had posted my call to action, thousands of users had changed their profile picture and shared my post. The internet police got wind of it and sent me a warning. The content you posted will be deleted as it could lead to unrest. If you refuse to cooperate, your account will be permanently deleted.
In China, everything functions via social media. Payment systems, communication, smart ticketing for public transport. If you don't have an account, you're down and out.
At first, Kai-Chen and Sanlian Life Week reported very actively on the situation. Then state television sent 300 reporters to Wuhan with the aim of steering public opinion and quashing other reports. The regime now rules with a hard hand.
The media has also been placed in quarantine. China's citizens are not just effectively incarcerated at home, they only have access to information permitted by the regime. The two bloggers are suffering the consequences.
So here we are, no internet. Our apps are no longer online.
The software tools that they use to dodge the censors and gain access to banned websites such as Twitter have also been blocked. Week 2 of our quarantine. The barricades at the entrances of our housing complex have now been reinforced with 2-meter-high green wire fencing. Though it's not as if anyone could have gotten through the cordon as it was. Every day is like the next. A never-ending stream of suppliers provides us with the essentials. But collecting the water containers is getting more and more difficult. We feel a little more locked in with every day that passes. Lulu rings her cousin to find out how her daughter is doing. The 7-year-old hasn't left the family apartment for several weeks now.
Wait, I'll get her. She's just getting dressed.
Her school is closed, of course. Remote learning is the order of the day.
How does it work with classes? Tell your aunt.
I sit down at the table and switch on the television. I learn my lessons there. And when I'm finished, the teacher gives me my homework.
Do you speak to one another via Skype like we are now?
No, it was like that at first. The teacher could see us. But now it's all on television. And the teacher can't see us anymore.
Lulu's cousin shows us what daily life is like for her daughter. Tong Tong is an only child. Her daily routine under quarantine is carefully planned. She gets up at 8 a.m., then it's time for breakfast. The rest of the morning is devoted to learning, and the day starts with an exercise class just like at school.
下面我们就可以用圆形来代替这15个小朋友。
2 days ago, we started having to pass through this large military tent. The monitoring system has become more tightly organized. The color of the passes now changed to reflect the number of sick people in the vicinity. Ours are pistachio green. No idea what that means. We film secretly using our mobile phones. Cameras are not welcome in the monitoring zones. Outside, it's worse than ever. The streets are almost empty. The only people we meet are either wearing a red armband or are there to take our temperature. It's so empty. The basketball players have disappeared too. The court is now closed until further notice.
Can I have my pass?
On our way back through the tent, we get stopped again.
How long have you had this pass?
Sorry?
And did you leave Beijing?
No, no.
You're going to get new passes. We'll make you 2 new ones. These are too old.
Why are we getting new ones?
Because they're better. They're valid longer.
Okay.
We only have 2 passes for 3 family members, and now they're white. Is that a good or a bad sign? I have no idea, but we don't complain. Others have only got 1 pass and are only allowed to leave their homes every 2 or 3 days. Week 4 of the quarantine. The barricade's now too high to pass over any water containers.